Every day, we walk up and down the sidewalks surrounding WashU. Skinker, Delmar, Big Bend, Forest Park, and Forsyth, we're all a part of a community that's much bigger than our own institution. We've noticed a salient disconnect between the students and the outside world. We occupy these streets, but we fail to acknowledge the other people who share the space, namely those who are experiencing homelessness. In an effort to learn more, we talked to some WashU students to see what they had to say.
I'd say I was definitely very ill aware of the people around me, especially freshman year, but I think as I got more involved with WashU, strangely, I have gotten to know more about the community, just because I think the people that I have gotten involved with are people who do pay attention to that stuff. I think I've gravitated towards people who do value the community around us. So I think every year I've gotten to get to know the community a little bit better.
I would say I'm kind of aware of them, but I should be more aware. I try to be educated, but it's hard. You kind of get consumed in the WashU bubble.
I try to be aware. I think that there are things you know and things you don't know, and then things you don't know. And so, like, to say like how aware I am of the city of St. Louis, like, I mean, it's all relative, I guess.
Sure, when you say like aware, like I'm not really aware like the extent, probably. Like that's probably not an accurate thing to say. But like I do try to like be cognizant of the people around me like immediately and like not ignore them. You know, try and talk to them.
We do have a responsibility, considering I think the people who go here have a certain amount of privilege, and I think as such, like I think we do owe it to the people around us who are where we are in general, wherever we are, whether this community or wherever we end up, to use whoever we have that privilege to help other people. Yeah, why not?
I think as part of WashU, you have responsibility to help. I try to be involved in like one community service thing every semester, but it's hard to see a real impact that you're making, which is why I think a lot of people aren't that involved.
We have so many privileges, and this city could use so much help that just being who I am means, and being here means I definitely have some kind of responsibility.
I think it's hard because although a lot of WashU students come from wealthier households or have a lot of privileges, it's also hard because we are college students, and me personally and a lot of other people might be living on our own budgets. So there's this weird contradiction where we feel like we aren't able to help them even though in a way we are.
Well, I think we all have a responsibility to the communities that we're a part of, and especially as college students. I get really frustrated when I speak with university students that are all about getting the degree to get the job and make the money. I think people often forget that college and like the whole idea of higher education is about a societal investment in like people to like come back out into the society and like give back. Like they put money in to get like something back into the society. So I think if we're like living according to that value, then like all of us here at WashU have a real big responsibility.
We interviewed a highly respected St. Louis community member and tenured professor at WashU, Bob Hansman, to get his perspective. His perspective developed and strengthened as he experienced cancer, depression, and homelessness. He willingly shares his story with students in an effort to bridge the gap between education and life experience.
A lot of opinions about things that we really don't know anything about. And through no fault of their own, I mean, WashU students have been sheltered from most of this stuff.
And so to shine some light on this issue, we headed out to Skinker and talked with two men who are currently experiencing homelessness themselves. They shared with us their stories. Mark is a 41-year-old father of four. Neglected by both of his parents, he was raised by his grandmother. A native of St. Louis, Mark graduated from a local high school and had plans for his future, just like anyone else. At 19, gang activities led him to his first time in prison, and from there it has been a downward spiral. He believes wholeheartedly in God. He loves to freestyle rap. He's currently taking care of his mother, who is mentally ill. Keith is the youngest of 10 siblings. His family moved to California when he was 9, after his older brother was shot and killed by a random passerby. When we asked him how he got over that, he replied, "I didn't." Keith did not experience homelessness until he was 38 years old. He was a productive citizen for most of his life. Now he finds that people acknowledge him one day and ignore him the next.
again, I mean, so oftentimes when people become homeless, it's like the seventh rate domino down the road. You know, that all these other things have hit, and now it results in homelessness.
I trust them. I want them to believe that they're honest with what they say. You know, like they're just going through a hard time, and I think they have to do what they have to do. And sometimes, if I can, I give them some free food, stuff I have left over, that kind of thing. And they're not like intrusive. They're not in the way, so it's never a problem really for me.
I always feel really conflicted about things like that. It's because, like, I don't know why I have this innate feeling of, like, feeling, like, a little bit uncomfortable, and I don't know why. I could tell you why. But in general, I try to say hi, I think, or, like, smile at least.
Mhm.
Especially the people who are, like, making an effort, not making an effort, but, like wanting to engage with you, and I think, like, that's nice. Like, when people are like, how's your day been? I would love to respond to that, and I do, I think.
And you know, one of the ironies, I think, is that, you know, and I've seen it here, that I meet a lot of really wonderful students here who I think would really like to do good things, right? But often don't know how to talk to the people that are, you know, out in the real world, so to speak. You know, they just can't even have a conversation with them. Again, through no fault of their own. So I try to be that bridge. I had to put up with some really ugly comments. You know, I mean, the most ironic one was, you know, why don't you get a job? And it's like, oh God, if only you knew. But, you know, and the other was that they just kind of, like, they wouldn't make eye contact with you. They just act like you weren't quite real or human. Right? The issues about what we perceive other people and what it takes for us to listen to them, to know who they are, to keep our mind open, you know, to respect them, and what is it that, what are those clues in our culture that tell us, you know, it's okay to listen to this one, and this one has nothing to offer, you know? Because because of those other things I went through, I have more to offer.
They really appreciate people, like, shaking their hands because they're people and they deserve to be treated like people. So even within the WashU bubble, there's things you can do because there are still homeless people struggling within a block of our campus.
But also, like, people that are struggling, like, I don't know, I think that there are people that, like, things are not, like, ideal for them, obviously. But, I'd hate to essentialize and see them only as people that are struggling.
The fact that we have the ability to make a change, I think, is the notion that we should make a change. Because if we have that power, why not use it?
No single person can solve this problem. Homelessness is a reality, and we're not suggesting that it's something we can necessarily control. What we can control is how we respond to it. As residents of this community, we need to be aware of our surroundings, and that means acknowledging the people we pass on a daily basis.